All right. All right. So I'm gonna talk to you about your transition from high school to college in terms of what college
Okay.
football was like. How would you describe your career at Davies? How would you describe our career?
Um, it was like a roller coaster ride, man. I
Yep.
mean, that's like how I describe it. Like at least personally, I didn't play a single snap my sophomore year JV or varsity, and then obviously spent some time in the weight room and was blessed to be able to be like a captain and start my junior year and stuff. But as a team. Like, I mean, you and I both know, like our junior year, I mean,
Oh,
we didn't
jeez.
make it to the playoffs and we were what, were we 7-3 or six
We,
and
we,
three or
I remember we were 7-3, and do you remember after the West
yeah,
Fargo game, Wermeyer said, "Your season's over," basically.
yeah,
But we all
yep,
came to work every day. I think the last game we lost was Cheyenne, so we were 7-4, didn't make the
yeah,
playoffs.
yep. And we didn't make the playoffs. And then, just trying to bounce back our senior year and we lose in the semifinals to a team that we definitely should have beat.
Yeah.
So it was full of ups and downs, but man, I enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah,
Just
I
beating my
remember
guys.
that. I remember that last game because I didn't play a snap in that game because since I
Yeah,
wasn't starting, I was a sixth man and I was on
yeah,
field goal. I was on field goal, and we never
uh-huh,
attempted anything, so I never even played out loud.
yeah.
So what was the recruiting process like for you after your junior year, or even before then?
Um, I'm not gonna lie, I did not like the recruitment process. It was probably my least favorite thing that I've ever done, to be honest. It was just constant, like, so overall, just like the process itself, it was just constant phone calls every night with different coaches. Um, a lot of visits. You had to sacrifice, every weekend, your spring of your junior year, basically, to go on these visits. A lot of driving, a lot of travel. Um, but with NDSU, I mean, I didn't really like I didn't really get recruited by them. I
Hmm.
more just, came to the camp and played well and they offered me. It wasn't so much they were sort of like I was on their radar the entire time.
Right.
So yeah, so that's sort of just how the process went for me. I mean, it lasted for about a year and
Yep.
I mean, like I said before, like being able to just commit and get it done with is probably one of the best feelings as a recruit. So
Yeah. You got a lot of media attention too, because I remember James McCarty from the Flag interviewed you, and he's now my sports
yeah,
boss at the Flag, and Don Mizzo interview on your front lawn. So you got quite a
yep,
bit of media attention too. So
yeah, and I think that that was just mainly because like first commit out of North Dakota, first commit out of Fargo, Davies as well. So, me and Oliver both got quite a bit of coverage just being both from Davies and we were neighbors at the time when we both
right.
committed. So, but yeah, yeah. So it was fun. I enjoyed that part. It was cool getting to meet Dom Izzo and McCarthy and all them. They're all great guys. But yeah, so
I mean, what was the recruiting pitch? I think you told me this, but I think the recruiting pitch you told me was, "We've won championships. Want to join us?" I mean, wasn't it something along those lines? I thought you told me.
essentially that's what they like. You go on a junior day visit, they don't really like, show off all their trophies or show off all their rings. They're
Yeah.
more just like, you all know what we're about here. And yeah, you come here, you're gonna win. So that's the standard, that's the expectation that they lay out for you, even as a recruit. So
Okay. What was the initial reaction when you got on campus and you saw the facilities, you saw everything? I mean, did that draw you right away, or is it more what they've done in the past?
definitely more what they've done in the past. I mean, I could care less if we're in a multi-million-dollar indoor practice facility or if we're outside, in the freezing cold
Right.
or in the bubble. I could care
Yeah.
less, to be honest. I just want to be on a team that, wins, be on a team that I've watched since I was a little kid. So that's the main thing is like, I've been a Bison fan since as long as I can remember. So
Right. Doesn't
I just
doesn't
want to come
help though
here.
that you're in a $40 million facility. I mean, doesn't
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah, it's not, it's not a bad thing. I wouldn't call it a bad thing. It's
Yeah,
nice.
I remember before that I saw you at media day. I went to like, is this for season ticket holders? So my dad's been a season ticket holder forever, and we went there, and you look up, it's like, oh my god, like
Yeah,
this is what they're practicing in. Like, it's
yeah.
ridiculous.
No, it's nice. It's insane.
Yeah,
Very blessed.
yeah. How would you describe your first fall camp at NDSU?
Man, my first fall camp,
Yeah,
uh, it's a shocker, and I feel like every other guy in my class can say the same thing. It's not so much the physicality part. Obviously, yeah, it takes a toll on your body practicing for 2 hours a day and lifting, 3 days a week. But the mental part is what's big. You're in meetings from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m.,
right.
and then you have a practice in between. So
Yeah,
it's tough. I mean, you're everybody, I mean, just talking to my roommates and stuff, and we get up at 5 a.m. and you can just tell like morale is pretty low. And then once you're finally done with the day, it's like 10 at night, and you're like, oh man, I get to relax. But then you wake up at 5 a.m. and do it all
yeah,
over again. So
right.
it's definitely a shocker. It's tough for a lot of freshmen, but
Yeah,
we all made through it. So
yeah, right. A part of fall camp is Coach Kramer, right? And what are the
yes,
workouts like
yes.
with Coach Kramer?
Okay, so well, honestly, fall camp with Coach Kramer wasn't as bad as summers because Coach
Okay.
Kramer gets us in the summer, but Coach Kramer, the vets are gonna tell you, the older guys on the team are gonna tell you, like, he's like the heart and soul of the team. So,
Yeah,
whatever he says or like whatever he's talking about, you better listen because that guy has been around for so long. He's seen NFL players come and go. He's molded NFL players
right.
and he knows what he's talking about. So he's gonna be hard on you, but just know it's out of love.
Right. There were two things I heard about Kramer. One, when Madden took the job, he said, "I want to make sure he was priority number one was to keep him here, and number two, his
Yep.
nickname is the Bulldog." So that
Yes.
just tells you the amount of
Yes.
respect that he has gained in that
Yeah.
program. I truly appreciate him.
Yep.
Um, so, are there veteran leaders you look up to in the locker room?
100%. Um, I definitely say, Cole Wisniewski, uh, just in my D line group, Jackson Dudenheffer,
Yeah,
him just being a North Dakota native,
yeah,
has really helped. Also, the Mostar twins, um, yeah, Cody Heisman or Huseman, however you want to
yeah. Cody
pronounce his
Heisman.
name,
Yep,
Cody.
yep.
Um, those are all and Jake Kubis, even some of the O linemen I look up to a lot. Um, but the O linemen, one thing about you'll find out about them is as a scout team D lineman, the O linemen, they're pretty terrifying. You have
They're gonna let you
nightmares
have
about
it,
them. I'm
right?
not gonna lie. Yeah, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that I look up to. I mean, even just I'd even say just everybody like
Right,
Truman. They really know like they've been in your shoes, so they know what's
yeah,
going on through your mind, so they help out a ton. Yes.
right. Um, so Matt Entz is your current head coach. How would you compare him
Yep.
to Wermeyer as a coach?
Compare him to Warmeyer,
Brandon
I'd say
Wermeyer.
that they both have a lot of passion and a lot of love for football, man. Like that's
Okay.
you need that in a head coach. I'd definitely say that Wermeyer from where I've seen Wermeyer, he yells a bit more, but
Yeah.
that's because I was with him for 4 years.
Right. Right.
So I haven't really seen the bad side of Ents, or not necessarily the bad side, but when he gets a little bit angry. But they're both great coaches, so yeah.
All right. Just in general, your favorite football memory.
Um, I mean, I think that a lot of other guys on the former Davies team can say the same, but definitely the snowball fight my senior year, or was it sophomore year? I don't even know.
All I remember about that was we threw miles across the practice field in the dummy holder.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember
yeah,
that part of it.
yeah, yeah. The snowball fight. That's a
Yeah.
core memory of mine.
I think for us as a class, beating Cheyenne was probably the best one. If I had to,
Oh
just in
yeah,
35-6, we totally blew them out. That was probably my favorite moment that
yeah,
we had.
yeah.
Uh, so your brother Jordan, he's still playing college football, or else he graduated yet? Is he still
No,
playing?
he's still playing. He's a
Still
he's a
playing?
redshirt sophomore. Yep.
But, geez, yeah. So did your brother give you any advice or help you at all during this transition?
Um. Well, he kind of talked to me a little bit, and he basically just said, it's not going to be easy. I'd say that right now, I've been stressed between school and football,
Yeah.
classes in football. That's been really tough, coming back from practice at like, whatever, 8, and then you have to go eat, you have to eat, do homework. So that that's definitely tough. But he told me that he was like, man, just be prepared to, have a very busy schedule. So yeah.
Okay. So what's it like having Oliver in the locker room with you and even Truman, having guys from Davies with you that can help you relate a little bit to this life, I
Um,
guess?
Well, so recently with the like locker room change, we've been in the IPF locker room, and
Right.
I've actually gotten like a little bit closer to Truman, I'd say, because he's like right across from me. So we'll talk and crack jokes to each other and stuff,
Sure.
and talk about Davies and how their season's going.
Uh-huh.
Um, Oliver though, like man, me and him have definitely bonded a lot over summer and fall. It's always good to see former Davies, athletes too, so you can connect to them on that level, I
Yeah.
guess. Talk about Davies and stuff. So it's been awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I saw Mason, he took a basketball recruiting trip, I think today. You see
Yeah.
on Instagram, I saw that. I'm like,
Yeah,
wow,
I
they're doing
just saw that.
recruiting.
Yeah, man. I'm like,
So
man, hey, it looks nice on you. Yep.
uh yeah.
Yellow and gold.
That looks good. Looks good to me and you, I think. Describe the US Bank Stadium game. I know you weren't playing, but just being on the sideline and you look up, it's like, wow, this is what an NFL stadium looks like.
Yeah, I've never even been in there until
Yeah,
then. So it
yeah,
was pretty sweet. Like just getting there and like I was like, my first impression was, holy crap, this place is huge. Like
right,
I didn't realize how big it
right,
was. There's
yeah,
seats going up like way up there to the top,
yeah,
and it's like
right.
80,000. I don't know how many people can fit in there, but
I think it's
I was like,
64,000. I think.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's just like, man, like just being in there, being on the field especially was super cool experience. So
yeah. All right. I want to